Can we talk about soccer?
Yeah, let's talk about soccer.
We're tired of the rambling. So here's the Dads Talk Soccer, where they actually try to talk about the match. Emphasis on try. It's Cory Smith, Ryan Ballard, and Brent Callahan. It's City Dads. Let's pretend they know ball.
I got a confession to make. So I told Cory just before we started, this is only the second game I haven't been able to watch. I would have watched the replay tomorrow, but just had to have time today. So I only cut the last 10 minutes. So I don't even know where to start.
You got the best 10 minutes.
It seemed exciting. The broadcast team leads me to believe that it was a more interesting result and that City should feel positive about the direction. But help me understand what happened in the game.
Is it fair to put you on the spot and tell me what you thought after watching the last 10 minutes?
So my reaction was, it goes back to the conversation that we've had a couple of times previously where I think we've said the moment you give up the lead, you lose all faith.
Right.
Yeah, I can quit watching.
Yeah.
Right. Despite with 2 down, I think the conversation that we had is if you're 2 down, you can stop watching. But even at 3-2, the movement on the field, I was like, this still feels like we had a chance of scoring, and then we did. And so that was my question for you guys. Now that we've switched up the formations, we've switched up the tactics, do you still feel that dread of, man, last 15 minutes, if we lose the lead, it's over, or has that changed for you?
It's not so much losing the lead, it's that I just know we're going to concede after 75.
Yeah.
Mark it now. If you're not winning at the 75th minute, you're toast.
We were calling it in the stadium. We're like, when they're making these subs and everything, you're like, we're right at 83 minutes. It's going to happen. If it doesn't happen in the next, it's going to happen. Like, you're just like, it's going to be in the next 4 minutes. And if they would have not got it then, it probably would have came in that extra 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like, it was great we scored. That's awesome. But it is like clockwork that you're giving up goals from the last 20 or 15, 20 minutes?
The broadcast team
15?
Even mentioned it.
75th on.
I got to flip the TV on. I was walking around the house as I was trying to get ready, and I heard the broadcast team say, we're in the danger zone for both teams. Last 15 minutes, we're in the danger zone. This is where they leak goals.
Is that a pretty good indicator if it's a good team or a bad team? Because that's two teams who are the worst at this, and that's what they're saying on the game. It's like, this is where the worst.
Do you know what I think the only actual indicator you can say that's like 100% of the time true is fitness?
Yeah.
It's fitness. You're not fit. You're not fit. You can't finish out games. You don't have the depth to finish 5 to 7. But you've only got 5 to 7 subs every game, right? Maybe like 3 to 7, whatever. That's half your team's got to play 90. You got to find 5 to 6 players, maybe more, that can go 90 minutes. And one of those guys was Akil Watts tonight. Like, your center backs are going to go 90 usually. But they don't, and no one looks like the eye test. I don't see it. I don't see the tired legs. I don't see that stuff.
It seems like they're passive. They seem like such a passive team.
It feels like when they chip ahead and get that lead, or even when they're tied and they're late, they just get tense and they get tight and everybody sinks back. It's almost a park the bus mentality of like, oh shit, it's going to happen again. Let's just throw every single person we can back here, play as safe as we can, just bomb it out every time we get the ball. And when you play like that, when you go into a shell, you are going to get just pummeled.
I just think I would argue that you can look at these injuries and you just don't have the depth. Like, you need all these legs, and like some of your key players, you really are counting for those 90 minutes that you went and got, just aren't doing it. And that's, to whatever, bad luck. Call it bad luck. There's a lot of stuff, injuries and other personal matters that happen to the team. But, man, would an Indiana Vasilov be great on this team right now?
Yeah.
Right? Like, those guys who are just gritty and played hard, and then you let them go, and now this is what you get. You get a very passive midfield that's not going to take the chance.
But that's what you trotted out there.
Right.
Akil Watson, Alfredo Morales did exactly what they're supposed to do, what you
Right.
expect them to do.
Right.
That's, there was like really good takeaways. The team does continue to improve. I think offensively, we said last week that was probably statistically, or 2 weeks, whatever that was, statistically their best probably offensive game. I think tonight was probably, this afternoon was probably even better than that.
Totlin, Zielinski, Reed.
The right side has life.
Yeah, that's fun.
These guys are blasting down the field. Man, it would have been nice to see some of that wing play with 5 back, but I guess it's just not going to happen. So they shift formations. It seems to be working better.
Ostrak would have been so much more fun today. Like, maybe he's not fit. Maybe something happened. Maybe tweaked.
I don't know. He's on the bench, so you're not putting guys on the bench that are not available at all. That's silly. That's a waste. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how he trained. I don't know how he's feeling. I don't know any of that. But yes, it certainly seemed like a game that he could have made an impact in.
Or you're just down. Are you overcompensating defensively because you have your center backs can't stay
right?
healthy?
He is not as sound defensively as Watson and Morales, and so maybe you just go like, well, but you gave up 3 goals, so
right.
That didn't pan out.
What happened with Reed? Because you liked Reed last week, right? And
I thought Reed didn't have a terrible game today. He got burned on that goal. But
he just fell over.
Yeah.
That's not a play, right? That's not scripted. You don't do that on purpose. He just lost it. It happens.
You lose an edge in hockey, you fall down. Yeah.
Okay.
I also he's anytime defenses like in basketball for me or like soccer is like you want defenses moving side to side, right? That's where they make mistakes. They move side to side, and he was coming hard to the middle, and then he lost and they were gone. So it's like
in understanding from like a bigger picture perspective is everything was messed up there because that's in soccer.
He's playing recovery.
They talk about keeping your shape.
Yeah.
So Reed who's playing left back in a 4-back system. And that goal goes in. I don't really know what happened, but he's in the middle of the field and he's the last man. And those are 2 things that really shouldn't happen. That was a broken play, was busted. He's out of position. He's trying to cover this guy. And one-on-one, bad shit can happen. You're always looking for that.
When you're desperate in recovery, when you're in when you're in a straight recovery position, you're more likely to fuck up. The pressure is higher in that situation, and you're making sure you're getting to your spot. So therefore, you're busting your ass. And then if you having to stop on a dime and go backwards, that's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do. So I don't know. I thought he had a nice game today. I thought Totland is so nice to have him back.
Yeah,
it's a different team, and you just wish somebody like Kessler could play. Because if you had this Kessler in there with those guys, that probably is fun.
And now you really start to do the coulda, woulda, shoulda thing of like, man, if you had Kessler, if you had Edu, if you had some of these other guys, like,
I hope
it would be cool.
I hope they get to do all the money. If they're going to keep one of them, if they get that one,
yeah. I'd be fine with that.
Right.
I honestly, I mean, I know where we're at in standings, and I know everything else that's happened, but like, it's a fun team. There's a lot of guys on that team that I like, that I'm rooting for. I mean, holy shit, Klaus gets a hat trick. This is the first hat trick in city history, I believe.
Yeah.
I was happy about the brace.
Yeah. So I just put in 1.
We were talking about this at the game. We're too nice of a fan base. This best fans in baseball shit's got to go.
Yeah, I'm done with the respect.
I'm done with respect.
I want to be mean.
I want to be mean. And when we cheer,
there was a moment early in the first half when Hartle's taking a corner kick, and we're right there in the corner.
Yeah,
and he's taking a corner kick, and their players, the Galaxy players, are warming up. And I watched Christian Ramirez just like get in his way, and then like. He's a foot from him, and he's like looking at him, and he's doing this goofy shit. And I was like, man, there's no chance if I'm in that front row or even second row.
Yeah,
I'm getting his attention. I'm gonna get Christian Ramirez is looking at me. He's not messing with Marcel Hartel.
Okay.
I don't know what I have to say in that scenario.
Yeah.
I might get kicked out of the stadium, but I promise you, he's not messing with our player during their corner kick.
Yeah, I would.
He's worried about me.
Here's the thing. There was a guy who expressed his anger about it behind us.
Wait, is this guy behind you? It's not a guy who
No,
sits
this is a
behind
different
you?
guy. Different guy. Soccer expert though.
Guy who sits
This
behind
guy-
us
this
and guy who sits in front of us were not present.
They weren't there.
They were not there.
Okay.
This new guy
different.
is like like. If I didn't know Cory, I'd be as dumb as this guy. Like
He is as dumb as this guy. He just has a Cory.
I just have a Cory, so it's really nice to have a
Yeah.
Cory.
Everyone should have a Cory.
Everybody should have a Cory.
I don't know about that.
And
I would
and
not recommend it.
I'm willing to give mine up.
his chirp was I hope you get unexpected cold water when you shampoo your hair. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I want him to get syphilis from a Jeffco 7. That's what I want for his. I want him to have to get some penicillin from his visit in St. Louis.
Here's the difference.
I want to upset him for a couple weeks. I want to own him I want his brain to think about this moment.
You need to be in the front row.
Yeah.
You really need to be there so that I'm not screaming over X amount of children.
I'll say some wild shit.
In the front row.
In the front row.
Absolutely.
In the front row.
That's where you belong. That's where we belong.
I tried. Andy Cohen was there today.
Andy Cohen
Andy
did the
Cohen was
ball.
there today. And so during the
man.
national,
He was ripped. I love Andy
God, I
Cohen.
love Andy Cohen. So he was doing the drum and everything.
Yeah.
And he's walking by, and then he's right in front of us for the national anthem, and everything in my body wanted to hit him with a Andy Cohen, you fucking king, and like right before the home of the brave, right in that gap.
Yeah.
But I bitched out, and I did it after the Blues, and no one heard it. I was like, damn it! I had a shot, I didn't take it. Pretty upset
He
with myself.
respected the flag.
He is a
unfortunately.
fucking king, though. God, that guy's the
I
shit.
do like him. We should have him on the podcast.
I would love to talk St. Louis City soccer with Andy Cohen.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
Andy Cohen in my basement. What's up?
Why don't we go where Andy Cohen lives in St. Louis?
Okay.
Yeah.
You think we can get in? You think he'll just invite us into his home?
Are we going to let him know ahead of time? We're just going to show
Right.
up with three
Oh no, we're here for the podcast slash
shitty-
gangbang,
shitty-
whatever's happening.
shitty
Okay.
microphones and an iPhone.
You're telling me we're just going to be in awe of this dude the whole time. He's just we're going to be like, Andy Cohen's the coolest motherfucker of all time. You don't think he'd be great on a daddy's day?
Andy, do you have about
Yes.
And Andy Cohen daddy's day?
This is what Andy Cohen doesn't want to hang out with us.
Oh, I know.
This is the
But
you're
when
saying all the obvious points.
if he came like the
It would be
three of us
great.
and Andy Cohen playing golf would be a delight.
what
Yeah.
sounds like a hostage situation?
Right.
Yeah. This is maybe a soft pitch for a movie. That's kidnapping.
Oh, yeah.
Andy Cohen for this daddy's day.
Like, yeah,
How long does it take us to Stockholm syndrome, Andy Cohen?
yeah.
How many events? You're like, you know what? How many holes on the golf in the first bet? It was like by the 9th hole, he's already got to play a full 18 for him to be like, all right, these guys are okay.
Oh, I don't know that he ever gets there, Ryan. I'll be honest with you.
You don't think he gets there?
I think we probably get one day with Andy Cohen, and then he's
Would
like,
you not ask every question about all these reality stars, though? I would want to know everything. He talks to crazy people all day.
I feel the same.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Somebody's got to do it.
That's not what I would ask him about at all, honestly.
I would ask him about how fun him and Anderson Cooper. Those guys look awesome.
Their New Year's Eve parties? That's what
Yeah.
you want to know
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
I wanna know what
That's a
like.
fair point.
Yeah.
How many wins would you give up your season tickets for? Real fan. You're going to have guaranteed X number of wins, but you can no longer
I
be
get to go to the playoff games
You can no longer be a season ticket holder.
ever.
Ever. But for every year that you are not a season ticket holder, you are guaranteed X number of wins. What's the breaking point?
We'd have to make the playoffs every year. What's that?
Okay.
But then we have media credentials.
Keep saying that.
Listen.
I think if we do 20 episodes, they
I
have
do
to give
put
it
the
to us.
team ahead of myself.
That's
did
a
he say?
made up number.
What did he say?
So if we make it to 20 episodes, I think they have to give us credentials.
We're
Oh,
gonna start recording shorter episodes.
Yeah.
they're not going to watch this. I think they would have given us credentials.
If we had asked now.
Yeah, they're probably giving them to us today.
No, you can
They
request
care.
them online. I
Yeah,
believe. Yeah.
I bet you have.
I haven't submitted.
No. We're a real podcast. Check it out.
855 City Dads, if you've got
Are you-
credentials that you
Are
can
you
give
guys
us.
just doing the Creed thing to me? And are you just opening up the internet? Or are you just opening up a Word document and putting a
Creedthoughts.com.
creedthoughts.com?
Yeah.
Is this all a
No.
ruse?
This is going on YouTube. Yeah.
Are you guys Are you guys Ericing me again? What the hell?
What were we talking about? Jesus.
How many wins you'd...
Oh. Yeah, I mean, give me... gosh, my season tickets. I'm selfish. I'm greedy, and I want 4th place every year.
Okay.
I want a home playoff game every season, and I'll stay away from Energizer Park.
But we got to go to that home playoff game.
You guys can go to the home playoff game, even if I don't get to. I'm that's how big of a. Look, man. I want to go see them win it. Like if they're ever going to win it, I want to be in the stadium.
You would reserve the one game you go to be the
MLS Cup championship.
That's the only game you'd ever go to.
That's the only game I'll go to for the rest of the year. Yeah, but they're going to make it. They're going to
gotta
make playoffs every year. I'm going to be interested. And the rest.
It's an interesting way of looking at like paying for season tickets. Like either I could pay for season tickets or I can afford this one ticket.
It's basically an NIL deal, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just give them my money and go like buy whoever.
I was making this comparison of this team and like where they're going and the direction and why I'm like pissy about it. So the first season we were all standing, everybody in that stadium standing.
Sure.
It's great. The energy is fantastic. And then you go through last season, and then you start seeing a lot of the stadium starting to sit down. And then today, when you had 79-degree weather, sunny, 3:30 game.
Yeah.
There's lots of seats empty.
Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon, most ideal time for a family to be there. And then the last 10 minutes were exciting because everybody got on their feet. It was good, but you're trending the wrong direction. And one of my favorite parts about that place is their restaurants are incredible. Right, they're supporting local businesses by this.
Sure.
But you're going to lose those really great brands if they're not making enough money. It's not going to be worth their squeeze. And then if somebody like a Balkan Treat Box leaves, and I'm going to only have so much money to spend to get Balkan Treat Box, I'm going to go to their restaurant.
Right.
It's a better experience. Balkan Treat Box is a better experience than this.
He's saying if you play so poorly that you start losing your good food vendors, he's gone.
I'm out.
That's where he draws the line. He's out.
Yeah.
Next level metrics.
I'll spend $15 for Balkan Treat Box.
I'll spend $40 for the opportunity to spend $15 at Balkan Treat Box. Honestly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll watch a soccer game while I eat my kebab.
That's it for this week's episode of The Dads Talk Soccer. Not as bad as I expected. Still bad, but charmingly bad. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe to the show to get the full episodes where they've been known to lament collared kids, rank their favorite gas stations, play fake trivia, and just be dads. You can probably find a link somewhere nearby if they haven't botched the release schedule. They're the city dads, they're sorry, and they'll try to do better next time.